What's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Don't forget, all my loyal subscribers, check to make sure you're getting your notifications by checking to see if you are still subscribed. Go to your notifications on my page, make sure it's selected to all so you're getting all the notifications here. And we want to make sure you guys are getting the best. That's why we do it. That's right. Let's get into the grind once again on time. Now, hip hop, a lot of people, man, you talk about hip hop a lot. That's funny because a lot of people think I don't talk about it enough. Hip hop, baby. That's what's up. Hip hop wasn't my first love. Boxing was my first love. Movies, film, then boxing, then basketball and football and baseball and hockey and soccer and everything just comes in full circle. And a person's life isn't defined by one thing. It's defined by many things. It's not about what one thing you like. It's about the collection. So collectively, this is me. Now, let's get into it since we're talking about it. Your boy Carcino, man. Woo. You guys. If you only knew. Now, the rap game has been crazy for years. And it's going back to the 90s. Your boy Puffy and Suge, they've had this hate relationship for a long time. And we all know what is stemming around and what happened and all of this nonsense that transpired. But when Big passed, I had a problem with a lot of things going on with this situation. I was just exasperated when Big died because we just lost Pac, and right before that, Easy was gone. So it wasn't a common thing to see rappers go like it is now. This was like, wait a minute. We just lost Easy in 95. Now we lost Pac in 96. 97, we losing Biggie. It was a heavy blow. It was a real heavy blow. Now, what I didn't like is that Big dies and here come guys that are starting to sound like him. And Puff starts signing them. There's this big rapper named Black. And he was trying to sound like Big. And I think it was Buddha Black, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. He was trying to sound like Big. And then you got Shine, who was trying to do Big's cadence. And it was like, oh man, this dude sound like Big. And Puff paid throughout the nose because everybody else is bidding for him. See, and this is the record business. And I never liked it. I never liked this part of the business. Is they got to keep the thing flowing currently. And for them, this is lucrative. This is how the business stayed flourishing. But me, It's a code of the streets. See, hip hop is different, bruh. It's mad different than what you guys would know it is. Know it as, like as fans, you see the outside surface, and you just say, "Oh man, that's my group. Them they stars, but they real people and they messed up people, broken, damaged, and there might not be any recovery for them." Case in point, let's take for instance, we have the Wu Tang. I was speaking on this the other day, and I said the Wu Tang Clan got a bunch of situations going on that went left. It's a lot of people in the group, it's a lot of personalities. And each personality got their own story and their own crews. That's dangerous. But RZA knew how to balance that danger and get everybody collectively to work on a project. So Ghost would get on a jam. All these dudes was running phone wires through the place, getting it done the cheap way. Then when money get involved and they start blowing up, all the problems are gonna ensue. People are gonna go their own ways and do their own thing. And when they don't blow, they gonna blame people. They gonna point fingers. You got guys in your crew thinking you got more than what you have, and you want them to think you got it, even if you ain't got it. So it's a lot of problems and nonsense in hip hop, man. And that's what happened with the Wu Tang. You got people on the inside splitting the group up because they think they should be the leader or it should go a certain way. Because they're too blind to realize what it really takes to be a leader of a team. You know, when you trying to think like, oh, I had 1 million of soldiers under me when I was running the streets. Well, it's the record business, and it's not 100% like the street. And when you think that because, okay, it's the street and you got to do it like that, sometimes it don't go that way. Now, Puffy, let's stay here because the Wu Tang subject I could touch on at a later time. I want to stay with Puffy and Suge right quick. Now, Puffy is talented, but not in the ways that people think. Puff is talented in the form of he knows how to get maximum effect out of a product that's already existing. Seriously. Puff has always known how to get maximum effect and maximum results out of something that already exists. And he basically wants to put his stamp on. If you listen to Sean Puffy Combs, you would think that man invented the remix. Oh, Puffy invented the remix. I'm like, what? There were people doing remixes all before Puffy even thought about doing a damn remix. Puffy career is modeled, and his whole persona and everything about him is modeled after Jermaine Dupri, who was doing all this in Atlanta when he had Crisscross. He had Crisscross in the 90s, like 1990 to be exact. He was writing for Crisscross and put this group out. And then he follows that up in 1992 with their second LP, where he introduces a rapper called The Brat. So the Brat would do her flow, female from Chicago, spitting flows, and Jermaine Dupri would be on there with the braids, with the beads in his head, bouncing around, and some overalls, rhyming and hyping the crowd. Puffy was doing Howard Homecomings at that time, trying to get people hyped up on the mic. And he wasn't really that good. Watching Jermaine Dupri do it showed him how to MC and how to be controlling the crowd. So he modeled everything after Jermaine Dupri. You will never hear him say it though. Now, watching how Heavy D moved and working with Heavy was easy for him to model Big like Heavy D. Heavy D already existed, but he didn't have the lyrical, you know, gutterness. Even though he was gutter, he didn't bring that Mount Vernon street hardcoreness to his Heavy D persona. He was the overweight lover. Girls and girls, they love me. So he wanted to do that kind of style and rap. So what he did was model Big like Heavy. Big had the whole Biggie Smalls persona, which he couldn't do because legally that went somewhere else, and he wanted to do that. So Puffy gave him a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of image. You could do the Biggie Smalls image, and on the other side, you the notorious B.I.G., Big Papa. You wear suits. He smokes stogies. He got a cane. He's got champagne. He's like the Don. Because back then it was the rise of the mob movies. Goodfellas was out and Casino just came out. You know, and that was it. Goodfellas, Casino, it was the mob movie era in the 90s, and that influenced hip hop, especially on the East Coast. Everybody thought they were Sam Rothstein. They thought, oh, you ginger, huh? Go figure. So everybody wanted to be like that. The gangsters, the mobsters, and everybody doing mafioso rap. Mafioso! So it was it was very interesting at that time because all these remixes was out way before any of that was taking place. Hell, Marley Marl is the guy that really invented the remix. To be truthful, did people forget? Marley Marl was the king of doing a remix. The remix was going on for many years. Marley Marl got that cracking, mainly with LL Cool J. He didn't like Jiggling Baby. Hated the song, but LL wanted to make a video for Jiggling Baby. So Marley Marl ended up remixing it. It's the same lyrics. It's just more slowed down with a more party vibe, and the lyrics don't even go really with that beat, and making it a house party song. Marley was able to flip it and make it mean something very interesting. So it just had a groove to it that you could jam to in a party. The beat, even though the lyrics wasn't, it was like a diss song almost. And I love the original version. It's fast, and that's fast tempo, and I love that. And the lyrics, like, it's hitting with that beat. So I got it. But that's not gonna sell as a song. You slow it down, give it that groove that they gave it, made it a house party type thing, and it worked. But that's what I'm saying. That was 89, 90, and all these remixes he was doing. So that was 89, 90, and here come the remix. And remixes was everything. Steady B, BDP, they had a Red Alert remix. So the remix was already there, but it's like Puffy invented the remix. It's like, huh? It's another one of the identities that he was able to, the things he was able to wool, he was able to pull over the eyes of the people. That's one of them. Now, hip hop in 1997, Big dies. Puffy and the rest of the Junior Mafia had to get escorted out of New York City. They had to out of Las Vegas. They had to drive to Las Vegas and then get on a plane and get back to New York. So that's how serious the situation was. Now, once that happened, Puffy did the Bad Boy tour and would not even wouldn't even dream of coming back to LA, saying, I can't, my emotions are too high. I can't bring my team, my people around me for us to go to LA. Like Anaheim, I think was as far as the tour would go in California as the West Coast. The West Coast was completely left out. And there was a lot of them that wanted to jam to the songs because they're Bad Boy, Puffy, and everybody else involved. Now, something changed. Biggie album sells like crazy. Puffy is even got the Locks album sell. The Dedication album sells. Puffy album, it did well. Hell Up in Harlem. It sold multi-platinum, almost 4 million records sold. The singles are selling millions of records. You got Faith Evans selling records. It's crazy time. Bad Boys running everything on East and West Coast. Sugar's in jail. And right now, Nas is getting ready to come out with his new album, I Am. And on there is a direct message to Suge Knight from Puffy. Puff moved to LA. That's how comfortable he was. Just a few years after Big dies, Puff moves to LA. That's how comfortable he was. And Suge, you know, gets sent a message through that song. On the Puff is so excited making this record. He's really feeling this record is large. and he's feeling real good. And he sends a shot at Suge on that record. He says, I got 1,000,000 thugs on salary. What did he say? No, he started off saying, money is power, mother. I got 1,000,000 thugs on salary. Do it now. That was a straight shot sent to Suge. He was telling Suge, try to get your goons to do what you did that night at the museum. Try to get your people to do it now. I got 1,000,000 thugs on salary now. Money is power. Because he had all the money then. Oh, did he have the money? Puff had a lot of it then. He had power. It wasn't like he was back in 97. No, this time Puff had the power. So every time you listening to the hook on that record, he basically was putting Nas' life in jeopardy. And I think Nas knew that, and he kind of fell back from Puff. Then after the Stout situation with the music video, it kind of went left because Steve Stout and Nas kind of fell out because Nas was still cool with Puff after he opened up the champagne bottles on Steve. And Steve Nas kind of went with Puff. Things kind of went left with them. Now, Puff in this situation is really, really was feeling himself when he was making this record. It could go down any way you want it to go down. Die, mother, a good die, mother, a good die. You don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. So, you hate me, I hate you too. So it was not just for the record. This was the energy he was feeling. And he was directing all of this to Suge. See, you're never gonna get the real out of people in the moment when the spotlight is on them directly. But indirectly, oh, they talking. And they real cocky and they real bold when it's hot. The emotions is high. Just like on Last Kiss Goodnight, Puff going off on Biggie. I mean on Pac. Now, Last Kiss, when Last Kiss was done, when Last Kiss was done, I believe Big was alive. I mean, Pac was alive. Because I think it was made in August of 96. Was it made in August? I think it was made in August of 96, if I'm not mistaken. Because that song was made like immediately, almost immediately after when did it come out? Damn. The movie Long Kiss Goodnight, I think it was in 95. So they went to work on that immediately. And Puff was very animated in that. And that was very telling record. That was a very telling record because they went back and redid it to make it more mastered. Because there's two versions of it. You hear the raw original version they did, then you hear the one that's on the album, and the one with Puffy going completely off. And we ain't talking about no other rappers. We talking about you, mother. You know who I'm talking to. I'm telling you right. The it y'all started. It's never gonna stop. They were mad. Puff was mad. He had been sitting back, taking it for so long. The Harlem in him is gonna come out. And when the Harlem in him come out, you got a problem. You got a serious problem. This dude and that, but now he had the money to go with the mouth. Because if they was face to face, Pac would have slapped the dog piss out of Puff. And when Puff wouldn't have did a damn thing about it. Now, if Puff snap, then he turns into a mini Tupac. But he got that buried inside of him. That's when you get the kettlebell Puff. Trust me, there's a lot of things y'all don't know about. Like, I didn't like when Suge, decided when he got out in 2001, because everybody was big bag talking until Suge came home. Now, when Suge came home, I didn't like the fact that he had a rapper on his label that was trying to sound like Pac. And I was very adamant, and even the Outlaws was not happy about him being a part of Death Row. It's like, I don't want that guy in there trying to make song, and sound like Pac. That's not, it's not gonna fare well for him as an artist. Definitely, dudes will snatch him off stage. Or even trying to go in the studio, and I would never try to go in there and sell songs, trying to, because he sound like Pac, he can rap like Pac, had the energy like Pac. I don't think so. People be able to spot that a mile away and be like, wait a minute, this ain't coming off like Pac. Why would you want to damage that man's legacy when he got so many songs already made? That I wasn't feeling that. And I thought that was insulting to Pac. And if anybody had any type of care for the man, they wouldn't have done it that way. And Puff, once again, trying to make Gravy and doggone Meek Mill, Biggie and Pac. It's like, first off, Meek Mill is not even ever going to be compared to a Tupac. And there's no way Gravy is finna be doggone, I mean, not Gravy, but Rick Ross ain't finna be doggone Biggie. Oh, woo. I'm like, what? I'm Big Meech. Larry Hoover. Oh. Trying to use Biggie as, I wasn't feeling that at all. And I was not going to let Puff get away with that. No way. Got him wearing a shirt like Big with the B on it. And got Meek Mill standing next to him. No, bro. That ain't going to ride. Not him. Burn it down. Burn that down. Now, speaking of Gravy, that's what Bimmy tried to do. Make Little Kim out of Nicki Minaj and then have Gravy be Big. I mean, just because he played Big in the movie, he thought that was who he is. And since then, that's all he did was play Biggie. They keep hiring him to play Biggie. He gonna keep getting the check, and it ruined his whole rap career. Cause who is Gravy? They're gonna be, oh, that's Biggie, the Biggie rapper. That's all he is now. He's Biggie. And he was like, man, like people don't even try to see, who I really am. So Gravy was stuck in a hard place, a rock in a hard place. He lost his identity. But I keep trying to play the same role over and over. They just only see him as that. And he was promoted as that. And his career ended up in a spiral. But nobody wanted to sign you because now you got to sound like Big. All we going to get is resentment from signing you. So what's the upside? So I just wanted to run that by you guys, man. See what y'all thought. You know, it's much deeper than this, but I don't want to go way off into it. I might do it for the Patreon a little later. You know, y'all gonna get a more in depth. You know, this is a little choppy for a reason, but we got there, right? So on the Patreon, you guys will get a different version. You know, much more to the point, concise. You know, then you'll understand why this video was this way. All right, deuces.